Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 21st. I'm your host, Katie Tesla, but we're here for the main show, the Jess Strom Show. And today we have our most special guest, our athletic trainer of women's basketball, MK Schickel. And I was just telling MK, which we always call her MK, that her last name, Schickel, is very much like the word specific for me. Like, you know the word, you know the terminology, but when it comes to saying it quickly, it gets you tripped up. Do you notice that happens with your name a lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
So, but for those of you that don't know MK, she's going to introduce herself, tell you where she's from and how she basically got to CalU.
Sure. Yes, I'm from Belle Vernon, so I'm a local girl. I actually also, you may not know this, I went to preschool on campus.
I did not know this. Was it called Rutledge?
No, it was before it was Rutledge Institute, but it was over in Morgan Hall. I am like a CalU for life person.
I mean, like, yes, that's so awesome. I did not know that. That's actually a really good story to tell people. Like, you literally grew up on campus.
I grew up, I remember, like, there used to be an old house where that fountain is in front of Noss Hall. Like, I remember, so that was like, I mean, technically 1994, but I don't really remember all the way back to there.
So like
90s,
31 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, I've seen a lot of changes on the campus.
Absolutely.
So I did come to college here. I went to undergrad here, and I graduated in 2016 with my bachelor's in athletic training. So after that, I went to Clemson University. I worked there for 2 years. I worked with the women's rowing team and got my master's. And then I tried really hard to stay in the South where I wasn't going to be shoveling snow, but I ended up getting a job at Washington Jefferson College.
W&J.
W&J, Mike and Mark, we love them.
Lasecos, who are CalU alums.
They are CalU alums.
Yes,
There's
love that.
a very strong CalU alum network.
Yes.
So I worked there for 3 years, and then I started here in the fall of 2021.
Man, CalU for life.
CalU for life.
Well, we couldn't be more thrilled that you're here, MK. And, maybe tell a little bit of the viewers. Right now, you are in charge of your main sports are men's basketball, women's basketball, and then
tennis.
Tennis.
Yes, tennis.
Tennis. And that is in the spring.
Yes, they have a short fall season.
Small fall.
Yes.
Try to give an idea, because I always find this, it reminds me very similar of an assistant coach for a sport where you kind of really, I mean, you have a say, but like your schedule is literally based on whatever the head coach is of the sport and whatever is available. Like, to be in charge of 3 teams, I don't think people out there in the universe have any idea of what a day-to-day schedule looks like for any athletic trainer, let alone someone that is in charge of numerous teams. Can you give me like an example of some of your day-to-day responsibilities and times and what you have to cover and all that? I think it's really important for people to hear the time that you actually spend on campus.
Sure. So I have those responsibilities with the 3 sports I work with, and then I also have administrative responsibilities, which, like most jobs, you kind of forget that you have those as well. Sometimes, the actual doing the athletic training side is a little easier and more exciting, but
because that's your really cup of tea. Like, that's what you love. You love being with the athletes. That's probably like that's why you do it, right?
Yes,
would I say
exactly.
That?
Yes,
yeah.
That's why I do it. I love interacting with the student athletes. I really like athletic training because I initially wanted to be a physical therapist, I realized you'd only see these patients for 8 weeks or 12 weeks or however long. But like for us, like we have a girl who tore her ACL. I saw her get injured. I've seen her through her post-op, and then I'll eventually see her return to play. So for me, that's really fulfilling. And
that's actually really cool to think about. Now that you say that, you don't really somebody in that 8-week period and then they go away.
Right.
Whereas you get to see all the growth.
The whole thing.
Wow.
So
I guess I never thought about that.
That is what I really enjoy. And like when she gets back to playing, like I'm going to enjoy seeing her return, her do what she loves to do.
Is there also a sense of pride too that you have, like where you know that you've like spent time and you've done your due diligence to help someone get back? Like obviously they do so much work.
Right.
Like that is a mental, physical. Right. But there has to be like very fulfilling where same as coaching, like when you see things come to fruition and you have success, it does feel great.
It does feel good, especially, I always tell them like I wouldn't put you in this situation if I didn't feel like you were ready.
Yep.
And then whenever they go in, I had my first girl I ever rehabbed from a knee injury. When she subbed in, it was soccer. She was a soccer player. When she stepped up to the line to sub in, my heart rate was like 96, and I was like, oh, I really hope that she is fine.
Yep.
And ultimately she was.
Well, you knew she was, but it's like deep down,
yes,
you're like,
oh, it's go time. Like,
yeah.
I hope they believe it as much as I believe it. But
yeah, it's almost like a parent when you say like there's a little bit of nerves, but you're so excited.
Right, and you kind of can't show it, like, at least
Yeah.
in the moment, because I'm like, okay, if I act like this, then she's going to be nervous.
Yeah, and obviously, day-to-days have to be just insane.
Yes, I'm very fortunate with my schedule and like with the coaches I work with, and I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here. Like, I really do mean it. Like, I mean, I get my schedule from here until the end of the season. Like, I had the first day of school, I had my schedule until Christmas.
Yeah.
So I cannot complain, and I get that on both sides from you guys and the men. It helps that you guys share the same space, so I know there's only so much time they could be there, but I like the morning situation, and right now you guys are both practicing in the morning,
Which is kind of cool for you.
It is. It's really nice. I have like the unicorn schedule of athletic training, so I come in like half an hour early for pre-practice, which sometimes they take advantage of, sometimes they don't, and then I kind of get ready for practice, cover practice, kind of whatever, hopefully nothing happens, and I just am hanging out, drinking my coffee.
Yeah.
And then after practice is my favorite time, and probably the student athlete's least favorite time, and I have
which is rehab.
Rehab. I love it.
But you are the master of rehab. I love watching you work. I love it. I think you have high expectations, and I think that's awesome because at the end of the day, like, that's how you get yourself back.
Right. Yes. And I will say, for the most part, they're very motivated to work. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to buy in, but I've noticed that with the freshmen, they're like, do I have to? I'm like, yes. And I have a rule, like, you have to do mobility twice a week before you get cupped, because I really believe in mobility, that's what's going to help them. I think cupping's good, but
yeah, absolutely.
They like the feel-good stuff. So we have a bargaining system.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Like, to get that, you do this.
Right.
That makes sense to me. And MK, without violating any HIPAA stuff, no names, no school, no wherever. What is the craziest injury that you have seen on your end? Do you get asked that a lot?
I do, and it is actually was my second week of being an athletic trainer.
Oh no!
It was working rowing, and I was at Clemson, and it wasn't even an injury technically in practice. I had a girl running out of the shower and a girl running to get chocolate milk, and there was a blind corner in the locker room, and they crashed into each other. And my athletic training room, I had a front door and a back door, and the back door went right into the locker room, and I heard someone knocking at it, and I was like, what's going on? One girl's laying on the ground unconscious. The other girl has like the largest nosebleed I've ever seen in my life.
No kidding.
This was week 2. I was like,
and that's literally from just walking.
Yeah, well, they were running. They were,
no sports accident.
No sports. It was, so I had 2 patients. One is unconscious. So I called, I had to call 911. I had to call the EAP. And I was at Clemson, my second week, and so obviously it's a D1 school. Clemson loves their orange. Like, all of these fire trucks and police cars kept like there were like 4 police cars, 2 ambulances, 4 fire trucks. It was my first week. The head AT was like, "Why is there EMS at the boathouse?" And I was like, "Well, it was wild. This girl, she had the worst concussion I've ever seen from this.
Really?
She did not row for the entire rest of the semester." And again, that was week 2.
Oh, so kind of like it was like a certain spot or the way that she hit, just took her out.
Took her out, and again, wasn't even athletic.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Yeah, and I had 2 patients, one of me, so I'm having to like triage, and I'm like, okay, talk to her while I try to get this bleeding calming down. Like,
that had to be a little nerve-wracking.
It was.
Yeah.
It was, but it also was like, okay, I handled that right off the bat, so.
Then you're ready for whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of, I always think about athletic trainers. I crack up because there is a sense of pressure in like high, fast-paced games. Like, for example, if somebody that's playing really, really well is on the floor and they start to bleed, and they get that 20-second, 30-second time frame, and you have to go, like, I would be nervous. I feel like if I'm like out there, I'd be like flipping the tape, doing like that. That is a nerve. Do you just take like a deep breath, like, that everybody's watching you?
Right. I think in the moment it's kind of like tunnel vision. So even when I run out there, I don't, because
You can't think
Yeah,
about it.
I'm a little bit more shy sometimes, but that's never been a thought in my mind. Just like,
Really?
look at these people watching me. And I don't know why, because
they are.
Because they are.
Yes.
I mean, I'm running out there, but it's just like tunnel vision. And so I think with the bleeding, it can be pressure. Like when I first heard I get 30 seconds, I was like, that's nothing.
That's not enough time.
That's not enough time. But I think just being prepared. So I have my little AFDs, they have the dressing on there already.
Oh yeah,
and
you're like
them.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it's like, I get excited. It's almost like a NASCAR like pit stop where they come in, they're like, go.
Right.
And it like fires me up. Like, I'm like, oh, like, you know.
A little bit, me too.
Like,
and they're like 25 seconds. I'm like, psh,
in the back of my head, I'm like,
good.
okay, let's go. Because like, we want them to get out there too.
Right.
Like,
You don't wanna...
like, I feel that too. I'm like, all right, you got this. Like,
come on, get it done.
So I'm just so you know, I'm secretly cheering for you.
I appreciate it.
On the inside. Tell me a little bit about your experience. Obviously, you have done multiple sports.
Yes.
Anywhere from softball, volleyball, rowing, which I think is very different.
Yes, very different.
Basketball, men's basketball. I'm sure there's more that I can count. But talk to me about your experience so far. Is women's basketball the first women's basketball that you've had solely as a team?
Yes.
Here,
yes.
Not only at your other jobs, but at Cal?
Yes. At W&J in the winter, we had covered some basketball,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say, like, they weren't my responsibility. So yes, this is my first experience with women's basketball.
Talk to me about your experience. I would love to know your take on women's basketball.
Luckily, I knew a little bit of what I was getting into with Cal U women's basketball because I was an undergrad student here.
Yep.
So I worked a little bit with women's basketball, but never like a semester.
And you were with Shelly. Like,
yes.
You knew from Shelly.
I knew from Shelly.
Mercedes
yes.
was, so all your predecessors.
Yes, and there's one story that everyone else I've told, their jaw has been on the ground, like that happened to you at 6:30 in the morning. Shelly and Mercedes were the only two people that were like, yeah.
Yep, and we won't even go into that story because I'm
no.
sure it's absolutely wild.
Yeah,
coming from women's
that might
basketball.
get the beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like what is the most, I would say, what is the most challenging part about your job?
I think, like, I have to make a lot of decisions, and sometimes you do get a little like decision fatigued. I'm like, I just would like to not have to make this choice. Like,
yep.
Sometimes it's cut and dry. Do I pull them? Yes, they have concussions. Sometimes we're out. Sometimes
Yeah, you don't play
like,
games with head.
No.
And that's one thing, we all know, like, you can't.
Right.
In this day and age, especially, and because you care so much about the athletes,
right.
You can't play games with
and
head trauma.
I always tell them that's one thing. Like, their ankle, I might be like, we'll work through this. This is going to nag you all season, just so you know, but we'll work through it.
And you get a lot of, I don't want to say negative feedback, but people that want to play
yes.
and you're saying no.
Yes.
That has to be,
yes.
So that is the challenge.
But
right?
I would rather have that, because if you've ever had an athlete that's not motivated to get back, it's substantially worse. Like, I would, yes, it is. Danny Poole at Clemson would always say, I'd rather have to tell them whoa than no. And
yep.
I understood it then, but now I'm like, yeah, because when you're trying to like, no, you're fine. No, we've done this, and like, they just don't want to play for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That can be hard for me too, because I'm like, you're fine, go back out there.
Yeah.
And then you have other people who really, really want to play, and you're like,
and you can't.
Listen, we've got to pace ourselves. Like, I always say, like, it's Band-Aid season, so like the beginning of the year is not Band-Aid season. Like, when we're in our pregame, we need to shut things down, and you've probably seen this, like, we need to get this better. But
yep.
like, we're getting into Band-Aid season where we're just like
patching up some things.
We'll deal with this in March, April. Like, we have time.
As long as it's not serious,
right,
and that
right,
you can. Yeah,
right.
I know you're very thorough about
yes.
Your checks. Now, besides we talked about rewarding, what are you most looking forward to, like, as you continue your career? Because honestly, MK, you're relatively young. I mean, you are. I mean, I think you are young.
Yeah.
I mean, you started quickly. Like, you got your opportunity right out of school. Boom,
right.
boom, boom. But you're young, but you've been in the profession
right.
long enough to have experience. Like, what are you most looking forward to in your career?
It's hard because Cal was kind of like my dream job. I always wanted to work in like the D2 setting, and I always, like, a state school, that was very appealing. And obviously I was familiar with Cal going to school here. So I feel really fortunate to kind of have gotten this dream job pretty early. And then, like, even moving into women's basketball, I never saw myself as a basketball person. That wasn't on my career aspirations. But now that I'm here, I'm like, man, I have it really nice. I feel like I've kind of made it in that sense of
That's
things.
awesome. I would never have thought of it like that.
Yeah,
Sport
also,
to sport.
like, Shelly worked basketball when I was here, so that was my mark of, like, I want to be like Shelly when I grow up.
Really
so
cool.
now I'm kind of like, oh, well, now I work women's basketball. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
so
cool.
for me, I feel like in that sense I've made it, but I am pursuing my doctorate. So there's
Tough
that.
work, man.
Yeah.
Wow, you have a full-time job.
Yeah, they hit us with hey, you have a 6 to 8 page paper due on Sunday. So we'll see how this semester goes.
So would you say that most of your time that you have right now, like this is kind of like sacrificial of personal time, like you're spending a lot of time working and doing your sports and rehab and administrative work, and then when you're done, you're probably getting after your doctorate program?
Yes, I would say yes. I know this is a time in my life where I'm like, okay, have a little bit of extra free time, so
you can spend
I can spend it on that. So I think it's like using this period of my life wisely. If that makes sense. So that, and then I don't know. I'd like to continue kind of into some leadership roles. Like I'm involved with PATS right now, so
awesome.
I think that's really important, like promoting the profession of athletic training,
giving back to what has given you so much.
Yes, because it is something I feel passionate about. I don't think you spend 40 some hours a week with a team and not like feel passionate about it. So I do enjoy that.
Well, I can tell you, we love having you part of our team. Like it to me, it really is like an all hands on deck. I mean, it's like you're a part of our whole entire team, and I know that everyone appreciates your time and your efforts and your energy and what you pour into us. So we can't thank you enough for being our athletic trainer. Not trainer, because we don't say that.
No, we don't say
ever.
that. Right, and you guys never do.
No,
so it's either athletic trainer or MK. So yes, I've always felt that, and I was actually talking to Liv about this earlier. I was like, I always felt that not just by like what you say, but like what you do, how you communicate things with me. Like if there's changes, you're like, hey, this is changing. You're like, hey, can you do this? Mm-hmm. So that goes a long way too. Absolutely.
Well, there you have it, our wonderful athletic trainer, MK Schickel. We will be right back after these messages with the main lady, Miss Jessica Strom.
Don't miss the 2026 Frosty Frolic, benefiting the California Area School District Foundation. This year's event will be on Saturday, February 7th at the Cole Center Wharf at 100 Spring Street. Registration starts at 12:30 with the costume showcase at 1:10. Then it's time to shiver in the river as the jumps start at 1:30 p.m. For registration, price, and information, go online to calsdfoundation.org, Facebook at Frosty Frolic, or email monriverromp@gmail.com. Take part in this annual tradition to support our current and future students.
How you behave at a game leaves a real impact on our kids. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not so much.
Yelling and arguing with officials sends the wrong message to young players. According to Play by the Rules Sports Advocacy, it teaches them that it's not okay to make a mistake. They can blame others for their actions. They can disrespect authority figures, and it's okay to be rude and selfish.
Welcome back to the Jess Strom Show. We are here with our other special guest, who is named after the show, Jess Strom. In the first segment, I noticed myself. By the end, I was like this, and so I will try to sit up tall and correct my posture for the rest of the show.
Great.
Jess, how are we doing today? Practice in the books for today?
Yeah, usually game day today, so with our bye week, a little different. But yeah, practice already done. Second day of school for the semester, so I'm glad school is back. That was a long break.
Yeah, break is always long. I never really enjoyed it. Like, I think it's cool because the players get to be like professional athletes.
I think they enjoy it, yeah. But
yeah, I do not. I like routine. I like when everything is in line, ready to go.
And I just think they're moving a little bit more. Like, they have to get up and go to class. They have to, like the cafeteria is open, so they're like seeing other humans along the way.
Yeah.
I just think it feels obviously more like college life.
More
we
like
might have some
university
students at the games, so I'm glad school is back.
Man, break is really silent everywhere. Yeah. Like when all the universities are out of commission and you go on break, it's like... I'm like, all right, guys. Well, that's why we tell us we have to bring energy. BYOE, baby. Bring your own energy because sometimes it's not there for you in times of no fill. Anyway, let's recap the week. Some good, some not so good.
I feel like that's the story of our season.
Yes.
This past week is very, I I feel like indicative of the whole season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on the road up to Clarion, another Penn West, battle the Penn West schools. Actually, battle the Penn West schools this whole week, this whole past week.
It was.
Penn West versus Penn West, baby. So go up to Clarion on the road. I thought we started off with a bang. I thought we played a really solid game, kind of had a good little feel to it, a nice little vibe, played a little different defense.
Yeah, I think that we definitely executed what we were trying to do.
Yep.
Yeah, Clarion's a good team, right? I think we're tied with them right now in the standings, but they have really held their own this season. And I feel like going up there on the road, we haven't played our best there typically, although I think we're a better road team this year.
We are a much better road team than we have been at home, which is unusual for a county team. Interesting.
It is. But I thought we executed. I thought we came out with energy. I think, we really talked about scoring in transition, and I think we did a good job of that.
Yep, and kind of threw them a little bit off with throwing a little bit of different defense that we have, that we haven't utilized a ton, but sparingly.
Yeah,
and I thought it worked really well to get them out of rhythm.
Yeah, it for sure did. And I think you have to pick and choose, obviously, depending on the scout, which game to do those kind of things. But I thought it was a good game for that, and I thought our players did a good job. Obviously, Kamaya, too, had her second 20 rebound game. I thought we were attacking the offensive glass like
assists
crazy.
Did she have as well? It was like outrageous.
13.
13 assists,
Yeah,
20 rebounds. Like that's
wild.
insane.
Actually, that's a wild stat line. And we had 2 double-doubles that game. I believe Kennedy also had at least 10 rebounds in points. So, I just think we were in attack mode. And I think when we do that, we'll win most games, if we're attacking.
Yes. And then, super excited for us against Edinburgh. We played them Saturday at home. Always, I think, a rival game. It has always been. Come out of the gates and fall a little flat.
Yeah, I think that they played tougher than us in some aspects. I just think our start also wasn't the greatest. I don't think we executed particularly well on the defensive end. And they played really tough defense. I thought they were solid.
They always are going to give.
Yeah,
they work
they
hard.
play really hard.
They have consistently. Callie gets those women to work very hard
Always.
Year in, year out. And we always know it's going to be a physical game. It's going to be packed in. You're going to have to make some outside shots. You're going to have to offensive rebound, and I don't think we did that.
Yeah, I think that we could have done the little things a lot better, for sure. And then I think when we're not scoring, we were having a hard time scoring at the beginning, and then I think we just kind of go into a shell, like, oh my gosh, we're not scoring. What are we going to do?
Fearful and kind of get outside of what we were trying to do.
Instead of just trying to get it back defensively, I think we kind of, try to force offensively. And, but I think we have to learn. Like, we have to learn from this stuff. So, we're going to play them again, obviously, and they're probably going to do similar things because it worked. So I just, I hope we grow in the fact that we learn, especially in the West, we play all these teams twice.
Yep.
So, you hope you learn game to game, but obviously same opponent. So.
Yep, and with that, I think what we've done is kind of go back a little bit more to basics. Like, I don't want to say we're starting at day one. That's not the case. But I think getting after and tidying up some things that we need to fix is kind of what we have been doing this week.
Yeah, I just think that we maybe assumed that we had a better understanding
how to execute
than we actually do. Yeah, so I think just going back to basic stuff with our defense, just making sure everybody's on the same page, just really being sure that we actually know the concepts. So because we're asking you to execute something, if you don't know them, that's nearly impossible. So just kind of making sure that we're all on the same page with our expectations and just really how we want to execute.
Specifics, very detailed specifics. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I think the bye week couldn't have come at a better time for us to kind of sharpen up.
Yeah, it's been good. They've been working extremely hard this week.
Yep.
We've had 3 good days of hard work, so I'm looking forward to a couple more and then actually another game to show that we can execute that
I
kind
think
of stuff.
that when you lose a game the way we lost, it wasn't in the fashion that we ever think is acceptable. I think you'd probably agree. I think our players agree with that. You just can't wait to get to the next one. And have to wait a full week, I'm sure for the players it's more challenging for us. I think we probably love it because we get down to the nitty gritty, get more picky, more like, hey, emphasis on certain things that we want. But I think for them, they want redemption as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the next time you get to compete,
Yep.
against somebody else. But we are also, and I think they're starting to understand this, like, I think we have 10 regular season games left. So,
Clock is ticking.
yeah, like we're fighting. We're fighting to get into the playoffs. I obviously think, if we can do that, I do think we can do that. But if we do that,
Anybody have a chance?
Yeah, I do. I do think that we are
That's how I've
talented
always
enough.
felt. You got to get in.
But we have to really focus game by game by game just to get there. You know?
Yep.
So I think for the next 10 games, we really got to take it one game at a time. The next one is Slippery Rock, and we are focused on getting better for that.
Yep. So heading up to Slippery Rock on Saturday. I believe the date is the 24th. I'm all over the place with dates. 1, 24, 26.
Yes.
At Slippery Rock, 1 p.m. That's a Saturday where we tip off at the Morrow Fieldhouse. I believe it's still called that. But if not, sorry, Slippery Rock. I got a lot of love for all the PSAC schools. But excited to get on the road. Excited to start anew. We have a film session here at 11 a.m. We got a lot of things to get over, so we got to cut the show a little short. So Vulcan Nation, be ready for us to come out on Saturday. Watch us. Either get there to Slippery Rock to cheer on your Vulcans, or watch online, www.calvulcans.com. Click our schedule. You can see watch game on the Slippery Rock, and then we go from there. We'll see what the Vulcans can do as we head into our last 10 games of the regular season.